All right, all right. What's up, y'all? Man, Saturday morning. It's the All Over podcast starring comedian Louie Bruce. This is your boy. I'm gonna be out every Saturday at 11 a.m. We're gonna chop it up about a bunch of different topics. We're gonna just have we're gonna have a fireside chat, if you will. Just a lot of things. Now, I'm gonna tell you off the top. My opinion can be controversial sometimes, and it can also be it can probably prick some feathers, but that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to have conversations that people have in their head, but they don't want to have it in public. I'm gonna have it for you. I'm gonna have it for you. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all caught the episode last week. We didn't do a live thing. We wanted to kind of just give a backdrop of who I am and what I'm about, and just cover some bases, man. But feeling pretty good today. Feeling pretty good. I had a show last night in Mesa, Arizona. I want to shout out Tara Shakespeare and the crew over at Improv Mania Comedy Club, man. We did the show, me and 5 other comedians. I didn't know what it was initially going into it. I thought it was just because the show was called The Breakout Show, right? It's called The Breakout Show. So I'm thinking this is the chance for me to break out and show the club owners, that your boy got skills, right? But what it was it was a competition, and the prize was $100. And I didn't win, but I did win. Hear me out. I did my thing, right? Every joke was hitting. Every joke. Did like 8 minutes straight fire. I mean, like the way the room is set up, if you can visualize, like, have you ever seen like a New York comedy club on TV? It looks dark, staged, comedian, lights, and all of that. That was kind of that vibe I got over there, man. It's a great room. If you ever come to Arizona, man, look up the shows at the Improv Mania, and they do shows on the weekend, man. Beautiful, beautiful audience. I mean, I'm just loving really being in Arizona, man. It's just like, it's nice to live in a normal city again. First of all, I lived in Vegas for 12 years. And now, when you go to Vegas, everybody think that Vegas is like, and it is. It's a live city. You go to the club, you get lit. There's drinks. There's legal marijuana, strip clubs, the whole nine. But living there is different. Let me just tell you that right now. Living there is different because it got to a point one day I was driving down the strip, and I was like, man, nothing on this street has changed in the 12 years I've been here. They finally built a new casino, Resorts World, and even that I stayed there a couple of nights, and it's just like every other hotel. Every other hotel on the strip are the same. But anyway, that's just from an insider's perspective. When you go to Vegas, it's all new to you when you get there. But when you live there and you just see it, every casino has slot machines. Every casino has gambling tables. Every casino has a hotel room with a bed, a flat screen TV, a mini bar, and a bathroom. And now some showers are see-through, some showers are bathtubs, depending on how much you pay. So it's like, this is repetitive, man. So it just made sense that I would come to Arizona. And I'm loving Arizona, but really, let's just be honest, people. The world right now is crazy. The world, like, a comedian can't say anything. A comedian can't say anything without people getting offended, and on both sides though, because like I go on Instagram sometimes, and I interact with comedians. Like if that comedian doesn't know you, know you, and you crack a joke, oh, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem right there. They're either gonna block you. I was interacting with Pierre. I don't know if you guys know comedian Pierre. Pierre was on he was on The Wash. He was on How to Be a Player. He was real dope in the 90s doing all those movies, right? But he's been active on social media lately. He even has a podcast. It's called, I forget the name of the podcast, but look up Pierre's podcast on YouTube, and he's interviewing different comedians. But this dude, man, he's sensitive. Like if you come at his show negative, oh, he got words for you, and he will not let you slide. I'm like, man, what is going on out here? Like for me, I grew up as an only child, so like I didn't have that normal interaction like people that have brothers and sisters have. Like my interaction was outside. Like if I didn't go outside, like I tell you all the time on stage, if it's going like I don't like it, hey man, you ain't gotta laugh at these jokes. But I'm an only child. I can turn around and tell these jokes to my damn self. Trust me. So your silence right now is not affecting me. I mean, it might be affecting me, but I'm not letting you know that. You know what I'm saying? So I've been doing stand-up since around, I want to say 2002. You know what I'm saying? About 2002, I've been doing stand-up, and I've watched the progression over the years, because there were times I wasn't doing stand-up. You know, life happens. I mean, hell, there were times where I didn't have a place to stay. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to choose between going to open mic or going to work, what you going to do? Shit, I went to work. It was, I mean, like from 2002 to 2004, I was hitting the stages hard, hitting them hard. Then like 2005, I was homeless. So I went and got 2 jobs. Stand-up took a back burner, you know, and it really wasn't until I got to Vegas in 2009 that I decided to get back on stage. And it's been beautiful for the most part. Now it seems like everybody wants to do comedy though, you know, like not even stand-up comedy, like everybody crack jokes. Like I remember growing up, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that, man. It was like you had your class clowns, you had people that said funny stuff, but it just went overboard with social media. Everybody cracked jokes. Even serious people crack jokes. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm from the old school. You know, it's like if you give a joke, you gotta be able to take a joke straight up. But now people don't even realize, like if you say something online, they don't even understand that it might be a joke first. They immediately jump to the defensive. What you mean by that? Oh, you talking shit? Or you doing this? So it's a real interesting space right now, stand-up comedy. And along my journey of stand-up comedy, I also got involved in studying like how business works and stuff like that. You know, being a young budding entrepreneur, you know, you have to do that because business is real. And when you get into the business aspect of stand-up comedy, we have the worst handling sometimes. Like anytime you do jobs for a man and they have to sneak and pay you, that's shady business off the top. But it happens especially like when I do the black shows. Like when you do black shows, they don't just cut you a check or cash app you. They walk up to you, shake your hand, and whatever you got paid is in that handshake. So it's best, I tell you, anybody that's interested in doing comedy, especially if you're doing urban shows, quote unquote, know how much you get paid, because once they put the money in your hand, that's it. It could be $10, it could be $100, it could be $50. But if you didn't agree to an amount, whatever they put in your hand, that's it, unless you're ready to escalate it with some violence. You see what I'm saying? Like I haven't, to this day, I haven't really had a show where somebody didn't pay me, that promised to pay me. But I had shows where I kind of knew going in it was going to be a low paying show. Like if you see a flyer, here's another thing too. Flyers are going crazy right now. Like for real. Like if you look on Facebook or mainly Instagram, flyers are everywhere, man. But I want to educate y'all, man, on the science of a flyer. Now, if you also notice, comedy clubs don't post flyers. Comedy clubs direct you to their website. They may say, oh, such and such is headlining this weekend, but there is no constant flyer posting of a comedy club. They're going to post it one time, direct you to the website. You buy a ticket, you go to the show. Simple transaction. But now in 2022, everybody's putting on comedy shows. I did comedy shows for the motorcycle clubs. I did comedy shows for promoters, comedians. I mean, And the reason why let me just say this right quick. The reason why I'm here right now talking about the state of stand-up comedy, because one of my Facebook friends, Tim Berry, I went to school with Tim Berry. He was a funny dude back then, but now he's real serious. But anyway, but he came online one day and said stand-up comedy is dead. He said that is a bad business model that is going to be obsolete. Now, I'm paraphrasing what he said, but that's the gist of what he said. I disagree with that. However, he had a point, because if you look at comedy where it is right now, oh, man, it's ridiculous. I mean, for every one comedian you know, there's like another 100 that you don't know. That goes for black, white, brown, whatever. I did a show last night with 4 other comedians. No, 4. One didn't show up. He had an emergency. 4 comedians I've never seen before. Tonight, I'm going to be doing a show. It's going to be at the Urban Corner, 55 Litchfield Road. If y'all in the Arizona area, come on down to Avondale. We're getting it in. But there's 5 comedians on that show I've never met. I know the host. I've met him before, and the guy that promoted, I know him too. But like, you can do these shows all over the country, and you're going to find people that you've never heard of killing. Like, these dudes are funny. So it's like, to me, I feel like the difference between a comedian and a funny person is that the comedian decided to monetize his content. You see what I'm saying? And that varies, because when you first started doing comedy, you don't get paid a lot of money. You might get paid, but it's not going to be, it's going to be like $10, $15. I did shows, I got $10. My biggest payday was $700. And that was over a week time. I did 15 minutes each night for like 5 nights, and the man paid me $700. Great situation. Shout out to Isaac Israel, aka Phil Pareto, in Vegas, man. That's one of the most, people talk a lot of stuff about this guy, but he is one of the most solid business dudes I know in comedy. Because there are it's some people out there that will look at you right in your eye and give you $10. And no disrespect to the people that maybe that's all they had, but you got to consider your business practice if that's all you can offer a comedian that does at least 15 minutes. Now, anything under 15 minutes, that could be a free show, and it usually is, unless you're MCing for a comedy club that only wants you to do 5 minutes and then bring up the comedians. There's all kind of arrangements. There's all kind of agreements. In the past year, T.I. has gotten into comedy. We've seen T.I. get into comedy, and I was on the fence at first, but I mean, I understand, again, the business side of comedy. From my vantage point, it makes sense that he would do comedy. I don't think it makes sense from his perspective. Like, you're already a platinum artist. Why would you lower yourself to doing stand-up, in my opinion? But it can help us because it can bring more value to the comedy community. Because if T.I. comes to your city, let's be honest, people are going to show up. And in black comedy, that's the big difference maker right there, in my opinion. Just what I've been seeing like I took all the time. I was doing comedy when we were recording our sets on VHS. So don't holler at me. I've been in the game. I'm a vet, so to speak. I don't have the vet numbers, but I got the vet status. Trust me. Done many crowds. But anyway, yeah. So if T.I. comes to your city and you see the poster online, or you see something out online, you're gonna go see T.I. I don't give a damn if he's singing, rapping, or breakdancing. You're gonna go see T.I., right? But if Louie Bruce posts a flyer on your page, you're gonna keep scrolling because I don't have that notoriety. You see what I'm saying? So really, stand-up comedy, for all intents and purposes, looks like it's been relegated to a popularity contest. Why do I say that? Because, and this is really directed at black comedy, because I can go down the Vegas Strip or any city in America And I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, the headliner is not black. And that's not to say that there aren't any black headliners, but this is just my vantage point. I feel like there's a different standard for nationalities. Like, because you got a lot of strong, like there's a show just came out on HBO called The Headliners, HBO Max. If you go see that, go look at that show. It's funny. Marlon Wayans has, I believe, 6 comedians. I believe I know 4 of them. I know Esau McGraw. I know DC Irvin. I've heard of Shantae Wayans. Haven't met her. Sidney Castillo and Tony Baker. You probably don't know any of those people, but I guarantee you, if you go watch that show on HBO Max, you will not be disappointed. Now, Marlon Wayans is the name. Everybody knows Marlon Wayans because he's a Wayans brother, number one. And number 2, he does a lot of hilarious movies. Scary Movie, White Chicks, Little Man. How to drink juice in the parody of the Menace to Society. Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood, right? So this guy's been out there for a while, but over the last 10 years, he's been concentrating on being a stand-up comedian. Stand-up comedy, everybody wants to do it, but only a few actually do it. Let's just say that. Because everybody wants to be funny. Everybody wants to be funny. Everybody wants to have a sense of humor. Even when they don't have a sense of humor, they want to make you laugh. That's what people do. You watch them on TikTok. You watch them on Instagram. Everybody's trying to make people laugh. Everybody. Sometimes I just tune out like, man. But, there's a few of us, and I'm going to include myself as well. There's a few of us that would decide to streamline that thing into a business venture. Because, hell, for me, everything else I did, it didn't work out. I tried all the different jobs. I'm not cut out for the 9-to-5 work environment. I'm just not. I do it out of necessity, but it's definitely not my niche. Let me just say that. I talk about that in my act. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell, I wanted to be a security guard. When I first found out that security guards only stood around for 8 hours and got paid, I did that. And then I ended up going into the undercover security because you can wear your own clothes. And I did that for about 6 months, and I was stealing. I was supposed to be watching shoplifters, and I'm shoplifting. Imagine that. I used to steal stuff from the people that stole stuff. Like if I caught you shoplifting, I bring you in the office, take the merchandise, and send you home, and then pack that shit in my bag. I've done that. Facts. But anyway, yeah, man, the state of stand-up comedy right now is just really, 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 it's in a transition, and a great man by the name of Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan always says that you got to be careful, and this is to Tim too, if he's watching. You got to be careful when you're judging something in transition. You see what I'm saying? Because that thing that's in transition is not what it was and is not fully what it's going to be. So allow the process to happen and you'll see the product or finished product on the other side. So stand-up comedy is really in a transition right now because the medium of output has changed. It used to be just television, movies. Now you got television, you got cable television, you got movies, you got online, all these different outlets are coming out that people have now access to you 24/7. You see what I'm saying? Anybody can stand up and be a comedian at this point. But the real measure of who you are is how long can you sustain in the business side of that. We've seen a lot of people, even Dave Chappelle, as great as he is, in the defining moment of his business side of his career, he fell back because his comedy became bigger than him at a point. The Chappelle Show, to this day, people still say, I'm Rick James, bitch. People still do the what? What? Okay. People, his sketches out are as powerful as he is. Like, he'll have to do another episode of Chappelle's Show, but he can still get paid from that. Now, that's the goal of a real comedian, is to create content that will outlive you, out-earn you, outdo you. Eddie Murphy's in that fold. Same thing. Eddie Murphy created Eddie Murphy was doing comedy in the 80s, man. And people are still waiting on, if Eddie Murphy stood up right now, and he's on some Prince level type shit. Remember with Prince used to do like same day promotion for his shows and sell out right then and there? That's what Eddie Murphy's on. If Eddie Murphy decided today, I'm going to do a show tonight at 8 o'clock, and it's going to be broadcast live, the whole world was shut down to see that. However, see, here's the thing. There's show and then there's business. Show, business. And they say it's 80% business, 20% show. So usually what you see, the behind the scenes, is so much more. You know, when a man like Cat Williams or Kevin Hart decide to do a tour, they don't just go on the road. They gotta plan it. They gotta work out the material. They gotta promote they gotta sell tickets. A whole lot of things that goes on behind a tour. I've never done a tour, but I have done shows, and I do know that it is very, very real when it comes to, like, you know, the quality of the show, the value of the show. Now, Eddie Murphy's name alone would make a show extremely valuable. However, from Eddie's perspective, he doesn't feel that, or basically he said it's so much to talk about that he would have to, like, it would take years to put together a special because he hasn't done it in so many years. Now, that's Eddie Murphy's perspective. I don't think he would need all of that, because all you have to do is deal with what's current. You ain't got to go back to 1990 and bring us up to speed. You know, we get it. We get that. We know what you've been doing. You know what I'm saying? Now, is he willing to do it? I don't know. But the world is waiting. The world is waiting on the Eddie Murphy stand-up. I'm waiting on Eddie Murphy stand-up because they'll, quite frankly, not Richard Pryor. It was Eddie Murphy that even made me come to be a fan of comedy. Stand-up comedy nonetheless, but his movies, all his movies were fire. Beverly Hills Cop, not all of them, I should say, but the ones that came out early. Beverly Hills Cop, Trading Places, 48 Hours, hell, The Golden Child. I went to see The Golden Child, all of the movies I saw in the movie theater. So his catalog is so potent. Like, I'm looking at it, can he top it? Can he top Raw? What can you say in 2022, Eddie Murphy, that would top Delirious? But at the same time, that's a great position to be in because you don't even have to. He don't even have to. People right now are probably going to go download Delirious to see what he was talking about in 1987. See, this is where this separates comedy or comedians from comedian legends. Every comedian wants to be a legend. Everybody wants to be someone that you can look at my set 30 years from now when I'm not even on stage and still have a good time. That's the goal. And that's why so many comedians are promoting, going hard, posting flyers every day, creating content, doing these different shows 4, 5, 6 times a week, sometimes 10 times a week, because it's just like the birth process. You see what I'm saying? In the birth process, millions of sperm are making their way towards that egg or whatever that is. I don't know. I'm not a woman. I don't know the whole process, but the man shoots off sperm, they all shoot, and only one survives. Imagine that. You shoot off a whole load, and only one survives and becomes who you are today, who I am today, right? That is, in and of itself, is a major testimony to the strength of the person. Now you have to work on that belief. So That thing, man. But here's the thing, there's a lot of comedians, more than there's ever been. So it does make you question the state of stand-up comedy, because from the business side of things, whenever there's a surplus of product, the price drops. You know, the strength of your pricing is in a drought. If there's a drought of what you offer, you have the ability to control the price, right? But when there's a surplus of, I mean, it's like, for real, like if I hit the dude up tonight so I couldn't make the show, there'd be a comedian in my place and within seconds. All I have to do is shift gears, reach out to somebody, hey, come do the show. That's how easy it is to replace us on these shows. The majority of us. Now, you can't replace someone like a Kevin Hart or a Cat Williams that comes to your city. You know, you're going to have to either eat that or sue them, because you've already signed contracts, because you want to make sure you get your performance and the person that's going to do the performance. You know, so there's levels to this comedy game. There's levels. Yeah, you funny at work. I see y'all. Y'all, you know, you funny online. You funny in your clips. But can you be funny when the light's off at home? Or I'm going to give you just a scenario of my day yesterday. My day yesterday consisted of, I woke up yesterday at 5:30 in the morning, right? Out the door at 5:55, on the bus by 6:10. I did an 8-hour shift. I work in a warehouse. We were in this warehouse they're a wholesaler for like nails and staples and insulation. So we moved the product around the warehouse, right? I did 8 hours of that. Got off in Phoenix. Now, my show was in Mesa. I got off at 3:30. Show started at 7:30. So to go back home would not make sense, because if I go back home, then I have to take an Uber, because I would be late otherwise. So I took the bus, jumped on the train, because there's a train that comes through downtown Phoenix, jumped on that train, headed towards Mesa, Arizona, where the show was. But I had like an hour to kill, so I decided to stop and get something to eat. I got something to eat, right? So I got to the show. Show started at 7:30. The show ended at 9:30 p.m. Now I jump back on the bus, do the same trip in reverse, but to my house this time. I get home at 11:35 p.m. So my day consisted. It started at 6 a.m., ended at 11:30 p.m. And all I did was one show, 8 minutes. All that for 8 minutes. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm not an anomaly. There's a lot of people around the country doing this. Then you got the comedians that travel. If you're not a headliner, traveling could be a burden because the money don't match up. People will fly 200 miles to get $100. There's many people doing that. So this is just that. I'm not going to go too far into it of the dynamics of that. But I am going to say, if you ever consider being a comedian or being funny, know what you're signing up for, because it ain't for the fame. It definitely ain't for the fame. If you're looking for a quick grab, money grab, or you're looking to get rich quick, or you're looking to blow up real quick, I mean, you could blow up and still be broke. So stay on your social media page, get your followers, and entertain them. Because if you're not about this life, don't even play yourself. Don't even play yourself, man. If there's anybody watching, man, shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. You know, we do this every Saturday at 11 a.m. until further notice, because, I mean, things do happen. Schedules do change. I used to do this show at 8 o'clock in the morning if nobody was up. So I figured I'd wait till 11 when everybody's up. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people was like asking, like, why did you move to Arizona? And I mean, you lived in Vegas. You seemed like it was okay. It was cool in Vegas. Don't get me wrong. But I had an epiphany one day because the reason why I moved to Arizona was because at the time I was married to my now children's mother. And I'm being a good husband. We moved to Vegas, okay? So we get to Vegas. It didn't work out. And I removed myself from the situation because I saw the light at the end of the tunnel in that relationship. You know, fellas, sometimes you get in a situation and you know that it's not going to go as you have planned it. You know, that's unfortunate in America, man. You know, like they teach us one thing, but another thing happens. You know, starting in church, starting in the mosque. You know what I'm saying? Like they teach us, you know, that we're supposed to remain chaste until you find the right person. And then once you find the right person, you get married, start a family, build a family, and live happily ever after, right? That's what they teach us. But what happens 9 times out of 10? I know some instances where it didn't happen, but what happens 9 times out of 10? 9 times out of 10, how do I bring you in? Okay. Let's see.
Oh shit. Okay. Look like brother Louie checked himself out. Here you go. He's back.
Okay. I hit the wrong button. I was trying to bring you in.
Okay. Yeah.
But you hear, here's the thing, Brother Floyd.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I want to shout out to Brother Floyd, man. This is my guy right here.
Yes,
We
sir.
go back about 15 years, I want to say. You know, we met in Sacramento.
Yep.
And it's interesting that you chimed in on this point, brother, because I was just espousing how life is supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to grow up in the household, and then at a certain point, you desire to start a family, right?
Yeah.
So you identify your queen, or ladies, you identify your king, and you make yourself suitable for that person. And we were taught, you know, this is how it's supposed to go, right? You meet your king or queen, you get married, start a family, and live happily ever after,
Yep.
right? Now, you followed that blueprint, and to this day, you still have that reality. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. Been married for 23 years.
Look at that, 23 years.
Yes, sir.
On the other hand, you got people like me. I've been married twice, and right now we're in deliberations about divorce, but I've been divorced once officially,
Okay.
and I'm about to hit my second divorce.
Okay.
Now, the difference is between me and you is my situation is a little more common than yours. I would say,
Real talk.
because, you know, the average person has children by more than one person.
All right. So let's go a little deeper into that. You say it's more common. Is it more common or is it more magnified and more pointed out to us? Because I don't know the statistics on it, but from
Oh,
my vantage point, I have a lot more friends and family who are married.
right,
You know what I'm saying?
right. I'm gonna look up the divorce rate right now in 2022.
All right, while you're doing that, I'm gonna point out that on the earlier today on the Focus Up show, we pointed out that Ice Cube has been married for 30 years to his wife.
Right.
Ice Cube was married for 30 years to the same woman. I don't know if that's a high school sweetheart or whatever, but they've been together for 30 years.
Right.
E40, I believe, has 25 plus years of marriage. But these things are not pointed out, but they exist. You know what I'm saying? We can see a lot of times that people go through these situations. I got my brother is in a situation, baby mamas and separations and divorces and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It happens. And to go further into it, it's not based off of your upbringing in a sense. We was born in a mother and our father stayed together. They've been married till my mother passed away. They've been together.
Right.
But we all don't go through the same route from the same household. Two of my brothers, divorced, different baby mamas, myself, same wife, children, same mama. That's it. So it's not. Right. Go ahead, brother Louie.
No, you're right. You know, there is no. Let me just say this out front. There is no cookie cutter definition of how a person's supposed to be.
Yes, sir.
Because we all come into the world with different understandings, experiences, and reactions to those experiences. Right.
That's right.
Now, I just looked at the divorce rate as of 2022 is 44.4%, right?
Okay.
So that means there's 56% of a success rate.
That's right.
As we speak. So really what you said is a little true because it's about half and half.
Yeah.
It's about half of the marriages work, half of them don't work.
That's right.
Now, I didn't go into depth into that, like saying, is that like, are these first time marriages? Are these second time marriages? All of that those are all factors. They're all different factors that garner a reality. But you also said something that made sense when you said, is that what's promoted?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you made two interesting. I'm glad you made those 2 points. E40 and Ice Cube.
That's right.
Now, and no, let's not even forget Snoop Dogg.
Snoop too. That's right. That's true.
Snoop been with his wife since before Deep Cover, brother.
Ooh, man. Yes, sir.
But look at the parallel of who they are.
Yeah.
And what they promoted to the masses.
Yeah. If
you listen to E40, you know he got side chicks out there. If you listen to Ice Cube,
you can't say that. You can't call that.
It's like, no, I'm just saying, you the visual. It's all about your perception.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Listen to Snoop Dogg rap. He's not married. If you listen to his raps,
I got you.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? He's not a who's an artist that does if they marriage? Hell, Will Smith. We knew from the gate he was married.
Yep. Yeah.
His actions, we knew he was married. But I mean, perception is reality a lot of times. That's the real handicap of society.
Real talk.
I'm saying
so what a lot of them convey in their music is sometimes isn't their reality. Because if these certain people like Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg, if they rapped about being married for 25 years, that's how we will understand it. But I think
and they probably wouldn't have the notoriety that they have because human nature gravitates towards controversy.
Yeah.
Human nature gravitates towards the negativity.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Yep. Ice Cube was a straight A student in high school.
Wow. Okay.
All we knew was gangsta. Man, when I first heard that, bro, it hurt my pride, man. My whole childhood was a lie, man. I swear to God, you couldn't tell me, bro, when Q came out with Gangsta, man,
that was
everybody. I was so mad, bro. My curl wouldn't go past my neck. I was so mad. You couldn't tell me I wasn't Ice Cube. I had to set up the MC ring because my hair napped up. But I'm saying, bro, like, but now here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Jay-Z made a line back in the day that you may or may not caught. He said, "Truth is, I want to be common sense, but since the check came, I ain't been common sense."
Oh yeah, I remember that clearly. I remember that shit.
Right. He said, "I can't do numbers like the Roots."
Yeah.
Now they doing numbers now, but still, whatever sales, the marketable product was gangster rap.
Yeah. Yeah.
These two, Ice Cube wasn't a gangster.
Yeah.
We got to know that now from hearing the different podcasts.
Yep.
And I just seen one recently with the Chill MC and them, and they know that he above the law. 187.
Yeah.
Code 187 got into a fist fight with Ice Cube back in the day at a concert because he tried to play
hip hop convention.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it's been a mixture all along of those that are those that aren't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes those that are not, I would say married, and or I mean those that are married promote the negativity of relationships, and then the people like me that listen to it, it goes into our subconscious. We start trying to live it out.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? I think we all start off with good intentions.
Yeah.
You know, to be that family guy, to be 9 out of 10. Like for me, I was in a single parent household.
Okay.
So my driving force was to not be that absent dad my dad was, right?
Yeah.
But then you get into relationships with that mindset, but everybody not on the same page.
Nope. And
it goes left or it doesn't work out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the backdrop of this is the reason why I say, does child support help or hurt parenthood?
Okay.
Because when you get in a situation where the relationship doesn't work out, the natural thing is, if you have children, is to take care of your children, right?
Yeah.
That should be your goal if the relationship isn't moving forward. But the government ups the ante on that. They make sure that you make that promise. They make sure you don't just walk away from your family, because in relationships, it's easy to walk away when there's no kids involved. You know, I've done that a lot. but the game changes when there's children involved, because now that parent has the option to plug you into the system called child support.
Yeah.
With the notion is to have you take care of your children, which, in my opinion, a real man is not going to not have that notion.
Yeah.
You know, if it ain't nothing but $1.
I know. Hey, I know for me personally, when, before I started my family, my desire was, I said, I don't want my children to ever be raised up in no other man's house. And that was before I joined the nation, before I joined the military, all that. It was all my mind state was, I don't want no other man raising my children. That was it. And so,
right.
So when I got married, that's what I focused on, whatever me and my wife was going through. And before we got married, I told her, I'm never going to leave you. If we get separated, it's going to be because you left. And that was my mind state, and I was determined to see it all the way through. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thankful you did that. So
that's a man talking, though. Yeah. That's a man right there. That's a man's statement, because when a man makes a statement like that, he's clear that he's not going to breach that situation.
That's right.
I'm clear that I'm not going to mess up. So it's on you, baby.
I was not going to mess up.
No, I'm saying you. No, I'm not saying you don't, but you're clear that even if you do, you're man enough to own up to it.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, like you said, you got brothers in the same household. Everybody go with different mentalities.
Yep.
You know, that's why, like, when you have multiple children in the household, it's always good to find their personalities.
So, go ahead. Oh,
right.
I want to So, in your opinion, that statement that we got written at the bottom, child support, does it help or hurt parenthood? What is your opinion on that?
I don't think it helps it.
Okay, so child support doesn't help parenthood.
And here's why. Okay. Because my situation, when we separated, we agreed upon what I could do or what I would do, right?
Yeah.
And again, like you said earlier, just because you say something don't mean things ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Right? So I lost my job. And I had to go back and get another job. But I didn't tell her I should have been transparent every step of the way. Yeah. And I tried not to tell her because I didn't want her to freak out. I still was paying the child support that I was agreed to give to her, but I was taken away from bill money now because there's no job there every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it got to a point where I had to make a decision, and I missed a couple of payments to her.
Okay.
And that's where the problem started at.
Man, okay.
She was willing, because here's the thing, there are women out there that I salute that work with the father if they're not together, because it's not the children's fault that you guys decided not to move forward.
That's right.
It's really not.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? However, things happen, and each person is going to react to what happens.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I went and did a show one day in Prim, Nevada, man. I'll never forget it. Great weekend, killing the shows. In my mind, this is going to be another income stream. I come back to the house, and there's a note on the door. I got served while I was out of town.
Wow.
It wasn't to her credit, I didn't communicate, so she shouldn't have to communicate. Yeah. She didn't say this. Well, she did say it, but she was saying it in a light way, like I didn't take it serious. So now, would I tell anybody that ever goes in that situation? Number one, I would recommend to be proactive. Like if you know you're not going to be with the mother anymore, go down to the court and check in. Let them know, hey, we're not together no more, but I want to still take care of my child. So here's my income. What is it going to be, right? Then they'll give you an educated calculation.
Yeah.
What we do and what I did, we don't go to court. Like I was afraid to call off from work because I had just started this job, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't get to court on time. What I later found out is that if you missed the court date time, you still have until 5 p.m. that day to get down there and show yourself.
Okay. Because
if you don't show yourself up to court, the judge is going to judge, number one, in her favor, and number two, they're gonna calculate how much you have to pay based on how much you should make.
Okay.
Like I was listed on my occupation as a dispatcher. So in the state of Nevada, a dispatcher should make this much. So we need 25% of that.
Ooh, man.
Well, initially it was 33% because the child that was had on me, because we were married, the state recognized him as my child.
Damn. Yeah.
So we had to go to court for that. We went to court for all of that. But here's the thing. So, like I say, anybody that ever gets in this situation, be proactive, and your word is your bond.
Yeah.
If you don't do something, that's usually what it boils down to. If you keep your word, she's going to keep her word because, these women are bad women out here. They just get into bad situations.
Man.
I mean, so what you going to do as a woman if the man left and the bills are due and you've only doing what you're doing?
Hey, that's a powerful statement you just said, brother. I had to think on that one. You said these women aren't bad women. They just, wait, how'd you say they just got in a bad situation?
They're not bad women. They're just in a bad spot.
In a bad spot, okay.
Because two people had a child and one walked away.
Okay.
So the state, now here's the caveat though, because the white man is still the devil. Let's be honest.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is not like he's some kind of horned creature in under the ground. He takes a noble principle and place evil intentions behind it.
Ooh, God damn. Teach, brother.
That's a noble principle. It's a noble principle that a man should take care of his child. A man should be responsible. However, look what they do. They set you up at a percentage rate, right?
Yeah.
Now, let me double back to what I said as a father walking away, be proactive. Because if you don't be proactive, when they calculate how much you owe child support, they calculate from the day you left.
Ooh, man. Okay.
So if you've been gone for like 4, 5, 6 years, you already in arrears.
Damn, okay. See, that's good information. I never knew that.
I didn't know that either. Like I said, this is all on the job training. Had I known that, I'd have went down there. Instead of going to move into my place, I'd have went check in the child support, then move my place.
Ooh, man.
And she would have a foot to stand on other than what they give her. Yeah. Because, to be honest, 25% is not a lot of money.
Okay.
If you're talking about raising 2 children, that's not a lot of money.
Okay.
This is what a lot of women don't realize. See, in a woman's mind, you're supposed to be giving 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not going to be in the house, give me half of what it takes. But the court, now that's a good thing about the court. They won't do that because you still have to live outside of that household.
Yeah.
So they go 20, they go a sliding scale.
Man, you're breaking this thing down to a science, brother. I never heard it like this, man.
I had to study it, brother.
Yeah,
if you got a child,
you say. Yes, sir.
Every state is different, though, too. Let me say that. Every state is different.
Okay.
One child in Nevada is 18% of your earnings.
Wow.
2 child is 25%. 3 child is 33%. So the more children you have, the larger percentage come out of your check. Honestly, that's real. That's good. That's good dealings, right?
Yep.
But like I said, they don't tell you that every year. Now, remind you, now you start off in arrears if you didn't check right in.
Yeah.
Every year that arrears is still a balance, they add interest on that.
God, they add interest on it too?
Interest.
Man, bro, I did not know they add interest to your child.
But it's the thing, a lot of people don't know that.
Wow.
And this men all over the country are crying out to some point because some of them didn't do nothing about it. Hey. They walked away, and 10 years later, they got their check slashed.
Tune into the All Over show. Y'all gonna learn something here. Y'all gonna learn something. Tune in. I never heard that before, that they put interest on child support. God damn.
And then you know, like when you file taxes at the end of the year,
yeah,
they snatch that.
Oh God!
If you made $100,000 last year, and your income return is supposed to be like 30 grand, all of that's going towards your arrears.
God damn, man!
You see what I'm saying? So Johnny Taylor said back in the day, "It's cheaper to keep her."
That's right.
It's cheaper to keep her. Hey, you on the right path, brother Floyd.
Yes, sir. So to all our younger brothers, these are the decisions that y'all gotta, before y'all make that decision to leave her, and you know, think that, oh, she gonna have to take care of that child on her own. These are the things you gotta consider, because the government, they ain't gonna let none of that go. They gonna chase that money down.
I found, you know, my initially I was mad about it because, you know, when you don't have the proper knowledge, you automatically get defensive.
Yeah.
I was mad at her.
Okay.
You know, but like now that I'm older and wiser, I understand why she made the move she made.
Yes, sir.
But at the same time, she didn't realize the move she made because, again, the average mother in my mind, they feel like you should give 50% or take the whole children, whatever.
Yeah.
But the court is just in that sense. They only charge a percentage, so it looks like peanuts.
Yeah.
You know, like I was paying at one point. I was paying $500 a month. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was paying $500 a month, and
for one child or two or
two.
Okay.
We went to court for the third child because I made her say to the judge that wasn't my child.
Damn.
So he had to honor that.
Yeah.
So I was paying $500 a month. But here's the thing: when you get locked into a situation like that, you have to stay in contact with the court because suppose you get a job that pays less, they're going to still take that original amount.
Damn. Okay.
Unless you stand up and declare, "Hey, my income changed.
Yeah,
here's my income." So they got to slide it back down to another scale. Okay. During the pandemic, brother, I went to family court like 3 times during the pandemic because it ain't got to, because for me, I became self-employed in 2016.
Yeah.
I was a full-time Lyft driver. And my income changed. And you can't just report when your income changed. There has to be an increase or decrease of at least 20%.
Okay.
If your income decreases 20% than what it was, you have the right to go to court and petition for lower child support.
Again, tune into the All Over show. You're going to learn something here. This brother's teaching right now.
It's real talk, man. It's real talk. So I went online and searched all this out. Okay. So I was doing the math, like, did my income increase 20%? Did it decrease 20%? Yeah. Oh, it did decrease 23%. Let me go back to court and get my child support lowered so that it doesn't affect my standard of living, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, it also gives me an opportunity to kind of, maneuver. Because, I mean, who wants to pay more than what they make and then you end up homeless? The court don't care, but you got to care.
Real talk.
You see what I'm saying? So I did that and I got it lowered. I didn't do the minimum because you can do the minimum. There are people out there that have been able to get it down to $50 a month.
Ooh, man. Okay.
If you can show that you're not making any money that supports what they charge, and they can lower it for you. Okay. A lot of fathers don't realize that you can utilize child support court in your favor if you be proactive. And you have to go out and get the information on your own because they're not going to give it to you.
All right.
Or because you all the time. They pay this amount of money for lawyers and all of that. I didn't do none of that, bro, by God's permission. I went online, Googled that stuff, and I walked that. I even went to there was a nonprofit in Vegas called Center for Fathers or something like that.
Yeah. And
they was trying to charge me like $50 to run paperwork to the court, which I did my own. I said, that. I went down to the court and got paperwork myself.
Yeah.
Filled it out, submitted it, got a court date.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, like, don't go lawyer up because the lawyer gonna rake you for all your money.
Yeah.
He gonna put you in court, and meanwhile you losing money from the lawyer, losing money paying child support, you losing all around. You see what I'm saying? And something I found out recently is you can, the last couple of years, you can pay child support directly without it coming through your job.
Okay.
Now, the way to do that is not to have a job.
Okay.
I would recommend not having it, but start a business or something like that, and pay them direct. And that was a good lick for a few years. Yeah. But somebody down there caught on, so now it costs $8.95 to pay over the phone.
Okay. Wow.
Before, you would just pay it and it is done.
Yeah.
What they really want to do is garnish your paycheck. That's what they really want to do.
Man, that's power. That's their power. They could just take it. You make money, they just take it.
Exactly.
They ain't even got to talk to you, ask you for nothing, no calls.
Exactly.
Damn.
So what I found out with that just recently this year was that, like, whenever you check in, when you get hired on a job,
yeah,
they do the IRS paperwork.
Okay.
The W-4 and all of that.
The W-4.
And the W-4, it populates in the child support system, Social Security number, wow. And the garnishment starts automatically.
Ooh, golly.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey. So that's the question. Does it hurt or help parenthood? I think it hurts it.
Okay, I get that.
The best practice is to do what you did, Brother Floyd. Yes, is to meet your queen, and through thick and thin, y'all stay together and raise your children. That's the ideal situation.
Well, real quickly, let me speak on that. The benefits of doing that. I've never stepped into a child court or a divorce court or none of that. Never had to interact or deal with the devil in my situation. So
right,
that's a benefit. Hell yeah, that's
a major benefit.
Yes,
and the black community, man. We really, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said like this: we have to be properly re-educated.
Yes, sir. That's right.
A lot of us come from broken homes, or not even just the broken home, but what we see outside the house.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool. Your parents are together, but your best friend, his family fighting.
Yep.
Your cousins, they family fighting.
Yeah, we have to be properly re-educated. I like that. That's from the Honorable Muhammad. Yes, sir.
We go into relationships with the sex in mind first.
Yep.
That's why they brought about courtship. That makes sense. You can have that in front of you, but it's what's in your heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Can you save yourself for that woman that you want? That's easier said than done, bro. I've never been good at that, Brother Floyd. I mean, but it goes back again to what we allowed ourselves to be educated.
That's right.
I tried it, and when I was 16, I met my first real girlfriend, and I thought that was going to be my wife. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She cheated on me.
Damn.
Now I had an opportunity. Now, Could I have been a bigger person and tried to have her just stay with me and also be more than what that other guy was? Or what I did was I accepted it and said, from now on, fuck a bitch. You see what I'm saying? That's my, because look at the music that's out right now.
That's right.
The Chronic album, the music, the whole environment was Captain Save-A-Ho. All of that was influencing me, brother.
Real talk.
So for the next 7 years, that's how I lived.
Yeah.
Really more than that, because it wasn't until I came back to Sacramento and was almost 30 years old, I even started thinking about the idea of marriage.
Hey, I believe that, truthfully, there is a time and a place for that mind state. Real talk. Because I mean, at some point when that music was out, that's my attitude, and I wasn't going to get caught up with no female that's going to do me dirty. You know what I'm saying? And you get you're more capable of making decisions and choosing, then that's when you start to seek out and pick that wife. I don't think you was capable at 16 years old to decide.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. And then too is the environment.
Yeah.
So how much of your environment influences you to make those decisions?
That's right.
See what I'm saying? Like if you're around somebody that's handling their business and being the man in his household, that has an imprint on you.
Yes, sir.
On the other side, if you see a man slapping his girl, you see him pimping her, if you see him just talking to her crazy, that also can influence you.
Real talk.
And depending on what you find cool, that's what you're gonna gravitate towards.
Yep.
See what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of my friends that grew up in that environment I just mentioned, but they did the opposite. They went and found a queen, and then they've been living happily ever after. Now, I salute y'all, because I wish, and even though if I look back at a lot of the women I was with, I could have made my best decision then rather than thinking about it now.
Yeah.
But my mindset wasn't about locking them in. It was about just getting what I can get and keep it pushing.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. Hey.
Man, oh man.
It's real, brother. It's real, man. And like even now, I'm in a position because my children are getting older and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. You have to really everybody can have the right answer for you.
Yeah.
But until you can hold yourself accountable, it's going to always be an issue in your life. That's right. You see what I'm saying? So I'm trying to find a way to mend that relationship between myself and my children, because I created the gap, and then she took it further. The mother, she took it further by coming here. Man. So, this like 6 years, man. I wasn't there. Damn, man. And I even wish I could have thought like you thought back in the day. No other man is going to raise my children. Yes, sir. Because in essence, that's what's happening. Yep, real talk. You see what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't cross all the way over, but at the same time, if you're with the woman, you're going to be the father. That's right. In some capacity, whether it's feeding them, whether it's making sure the house is taken care of. So that's a hard pill to swallow. I think the next generation should give more value into the person they choose to spend the rest of their life with.
It's our responsibility to teach them that. You got to give it to them and be like, hey, man, this
that
is
part.
Decision. Yes, sir.
I told my daughter, because my daughter was having some things, she liking boys now. Yeah. And she had a little dude sneaking around the house.
How old is she?
14.
Okay.
Oh, brother, Let me tell you something. I tell the people now, too, don't be afraid to check your children's inbox if they're on social media.
Oh, man. Okay.
There'd be some grown conversations in them. TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram. There'd be some grown conversations, but they only going off. Now, they got it double bad as we did, because all we had to do was turn on the TV. Yeah. TV went off at 11:30 at night. That's right. But now they can log in any time of the night, Instagram, hit that explore page and see all kind of craziness.
Hey, they got access to everything.
4/7.
Man, that's crazy.
4/7, bro. They getting fed by this enemy. They getting fed. Elon Musk just bought Twitter. Yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Man.
So we had our hour. We had our hour, man.
Yes, sir.
Real quick, I want to touch on something that's a part of this. We talked about the relationship too on that.
Okay.
You know, in essence, to sum up child support, just choose the right person.
That's right.
And the right person ain't always what you're looking at. It's who you looking at.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, who are they when they mad, when they're happy, when they sad, all these seasons.
Yeah.
But just a real quick, DJ Envy. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I heard about that. Go ahead.
I mean, so his wife, I don't know if it's cap or is it true, but it don't make no damn sense, man.
Nah.
10 years, brother?
Man, it's sad.
You mean to tell me that you couldn't come to that man in that 10-year period and say what the deal is?
That's sad, man.
It's just women's part of the relationship. Because a lot of times, let's be honest, Brother Floyd.
Yeah.
You can be fucked up everywhere else, but if the sex is good, the woman will stay for a time.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what's usually happening. They having kids by these no good dudes that they knew was wrong, but the sex was good.
Yep. Real talk.
But if it's the other way around, Will Smith, if it's the other way around, you got all the money, all the stuff, and the sex ain't good, she gone. She gone, brother.
He would sit there and treat you like shit.
Right. So we're gonna deal with that next Saturday, y'all. We're not gonna go into it. I got a lot of insight on that.
Okay.
And I'm sure you got a lot of insight too, Brother Floyd, on that.
Yes, sir.
I mean, 23 years, brother. You gotta hey, that's another level. It takes another level of manhood to maintain a woman's attention for 23 years. That's all I'm saying.
Cool.
So we're gonna talk about that next weekend, y'all. If
Right.
you tune in, we appreciate y'all.
Yep.
Appreciate who's that? Somebody commented. Oh, okay. That was you. But we're gonna put this out and let everybody get at it, take it in, and just, comment as you will. The conversation gonna keep on going.
All right. Peace out. We out of here.
Peace out.